September 18th. Last night the wind howled through our shrouds and the ship rolled and lifted like a child tossed in a blanket. I slept not a wink. This morning it is calmer and the bluest of skies and huge billowing clouds above us and the ocean becoming flatter and smoother. Later, while taking the log to the captain's cabin, the captain and I spotted a tern flying over the ship. He was excited and said land could not be far beyond now. He immediately ordered surroundings to be taken to see how deep the ocean is where we were sailing. Even at 200 fathoms, our longest measure, there is nothing. Perhaps there is no bottom. A few are saying the wind will not take us back to Spain. We are entering a place from which we will never return. When I went to see Sancho, my friend and helmsman, early this morning before the captain came up, he let me hold the tiller and steer a bit. It is harder than it looks, but I did well. Sancho says I may grow to be a captain of my own ship one day and sail all over the world. September 21st. This is the most peculiar thing I have ever seen, and men on board who are 4 times my age said it is the most peculiar thing they've ever seen as well. The seaweed has grown much worse. We woke up this morning to a meadow of pale green as far as the eyes can see. They pull up stick loads of the odd green and yellow shoots with air-filled bellies that keep them afloat. There is no way around this covering, and searching out open seas may take us way off course. So we continue on, the prow of our ship splitting the field like a farm plow, tearing up the earth. One of the men said if the wind stopped, we are all dead. We will be locked here for all eternity in a mat of thickening weeds. I think not. It almost appears that if that were to happen, we all could climb over and walk home across the meadow. I told this to Diego, who laughed at me. Me, the boy who won't jump overboard for a swim, about to jump overboard for a stroll across seaweed. He said I would sink like a wet boat and float to the top dripping with weeds. September 25th. We have come to clear water at last. So clear and so calm that once again I had a chance to swim with the crew. But this time a few of the men threatened to toss me over, claiming that was the only way to learn. But luckily, Diego threatened to teach a lesson to whoever tried such a thing. He went ahead of me and called to me as I sat for a long while on the gunwale. Out in the sun with my shirt off, I was surprised to see how brown my hands had gotten from the wrist down. Leap, Pedro. I am here, Diego called. I'm frightened, I answered, and the others laughed, trying to splash me from the water. The captain was behind me, his arms crossed, his face serious. Can you swim, sir? I asked him. Like a porpoise, he answered. And I have come to observe over the years that those who take easily to the written word, scribes, readers, they are the best swimmers. It was what I needed. I looked down into the calm ocean and at the men who couldn't read and yet were floating before me like so many corks. I thought of my letters, my journal, the captain's heavy log, and keeping my eyes on Diego, I slid myself to the very edge and went over. But I am ashamed to say I was not sea wet within the next instant. I was suddenly dangling over the side by a cleat that had hooked onto my pants. Screaming and kicking, I hung above the water and the crew's hooting. Even Diego, I could hear him laughing. Until suddenly, I felt a hand clasp my arm and felt my pants eased off the cleat. I was free. I flew straight down like a diving bird, and once smacking the cold, wet surface, I went down further and further. I feared I would never come up. Just continued down away from the captain, from Diego and my captain and the Santa Maria. But soon I was emerging, and there were my friends around me, their laughing faces transformed by the hair laid flat and wet against their heads. A couple took hold of me, and I held on for dear life. Little by little, they taught me to tread water, to dive below, and open my eyes to an incredible light of green. I guess the captain was right. I didn't want to go back on board. I dove deeper and deeper, paddling like mad to catch my breath and find Diego. But after a while, we all climbed back up on the board. I was shivering, and Sancho told everyone to look at my blue lips. I am sorry I waited so long to try this.